What's up YouTube, Edgar Kai here, bringing you an action figure review. Today we are looking at the Beast Kingdom Dynamic Action Heroes Batman figure from Justice League. The code for this figure is DAH-011. DAH stands for Dynamic Action Heroes. And these are 8-inch scale, beefy, pretty strong action figures. They're way above the price of your standard 7-inch figures, which range from now about $20 to $27. This is just 1 inch bigger. It's a little more higher quality and comes with a lot of accessories. So this guy will run you retail $59.99 USD, or you can find it on Amazon for pretty cheap now as of 2020. They usually drop down in price a little bit. But nevertheless, we have a very cool, super strong looking Ben Affleck Batman here. Let's take a look at the rest of his body. I love the paint job on the suit. He has a nice stand, bunch of accessories here. Little tease of that. But I love that the suit is not a flat color. There seems to be different kinds of shades, especially in the muscles. There's almost like a slight blue highlight, and it's something you can see more in person. It's almost a little iridescent, and it has a very nice texture too. It's not just a flat sculpt. It definitely has the texture of his suit in there, and it's very subtle but believable. Now obviously we have a very nice cloth cape. It's almost like a pleather texture here. We can mess around how much we want it to look naturalistic, flowing, or just draping off his shoulders here. Just an overall very, very impressive figure. And the way these work, they have just a bunch of articulation, and he can get into a lot of cool poses, so we're going to definitely look at that. Alright, let's take a closer look at him here. Take him off his base. You can see very nice detail here. Nice textures all around with the boots. Very nice. I love the sculpt on the face here. It definitely looks pretty real. They used they colored the plastic a flesh tone, so it almost looks a little more on the lines of a naturally painted head. You know, it's not a flat matte color, so the light bounces through the plastic a bit, which is nice. We've seen that. It's becoming more and more common now. You'll even see that in Marvel Legends, NECA figures, McFarlane figures, but this one, something about it just looks very convincing here. And there's just a slight little stubble of the beard there. Little nice transitional fade. The sculpt of the cowl is very nice. It's not super accurate. I think it could be a little sharper, but overall looks pretty good. Okay, for the articulation, he does have a lot, which is nice. He has a ball joint in the head here, which is very nice, but it pops off very easily, as we saw right here. And that is because of the design of the figure, which we'll get into. So he does have a ball joint in the head here, but not too much motion without it popping off. There's another ball joint at the bottom of the neck, so the whole cowl can move around full motion. And you can see that the cape already is a separate part. With the arms, you can go fully out like this. You can also pull the shoulder out where it's more extended and push it in. So there's a ball joint inside the chest here that has a lot of motion, and then you have the joint that's actually in the shoulder, which can go out, in, and then fully rotate. But if you hear that, the joint is really strong, and that's not an alarming sound, it's a good sound. So we have a swivel at the bicep here, the upper bicep, double joint at the elbow. Then we have a double ball joint. One ball joint is inside the arm. Another ball joint is in the wrist here. So you get a lot of motion. But there is a flaw to that because now there is a gap between the wrist and the arm, which kind of, it's a little distracting, but I think it's an improvement on their earlier Batman figure, that's for sure. You have a ball joint at right under the chest here, which is nice, so you get full motion. Another ball joint at the waist, so you get all that motion. The utility belt is separate, which I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but at least you have the option that it is separate, right? The legs can go fully out, in, forward, back about this much because his glutes get in the way. And just like the shoulder, the legs can also extend in and out. We have a double joint at the knee here. We have another ball joint, double ball joint here at the foot. One joint is inside the heel, the other joint is in the leg. So once again, we do have that separation here between the two, that little gap, and then we have toe articulation. So overall, a lot of articulation here. I think he could have had a nice joint here at the thigh. That would have been good. And then the calf, maybe in the boot we could have had more articulation, but he still moves a lot, you know, looks great. Because I know Superman, at least, he has that cut joint there. But overall, a lot of articulation. He can do a lot of fun, cool poses, and pretty much any pose from the movie looks pretty good, so this figure does have a lot of fun factor. Okay, so for the accessories we have 2 batarang gripping hands, which is nice. Nice little brass gold on the knuckles there, which is nice. Nice sculpted hands. Then we have open palm hands, which also look very nice. And these are just ball joints, so you can see the little sockets in there. Then we have 1 batarang hand, gripping hand for a gun handle. And that's it for the hands. I do wish they had a hand that could hold a gun, kind of like an open palm hand, but it doesn't. Then we have 3 very nice, what I believe are die-cast batarangs. So they do have that cold die-cast touch to them. And that nice shine. These are very strong. They could definitely cut. We have his grapple gun here, which has been featured with pretty much every Beast Kingdom Batman figure. The armored Batman and the regular BVS Batman. Then we also have the grapple hook here, which is a full string. Has a little peg that can go into the gun. And this can also be removed here and just plugged into the gun. So let's try that out, right? Goes right here into this hole. There it is. A nice full grapple, which is nice. Then, like we saw before, we have the Batman cowl and the neck cowl piece, the head. Just goes like that, very nice. And then a very, very nice accessory, we have the Ben Affleck head, Bruce Wayne head. And another cowl piece here, an actual neck, and then this. So let's take a closer look at this head here. I think this is a very nice head. Apparently it's a 3D scan of Ben Affleck. I could pretty much see that. Probably the only thing that's holding this back is the paint a little bit. But just like the Batman mouth and the cowl, this has that translucent plastic that's flesh colored, so with a little bit of airbrushing or whatever on it to give it some tone. So very nice. The likeness is definitely there. Maybe it's just one of the eyes are a little off, maybe. But, I mean, this looks really good. Very nice Bruce Wayne head sculpt. And then, of course, we have the cape here, which, trying to get that on camera, it's too big to even frame it in there, but very nice big cape. And here is that joint that I was talking about inside Batman. So it's like this really big joint here. So if we're going to put the Bruce Wayne cape or Bruce Wayne head on, we put the cape on first, like this. Then we put the cowl piece over the cape. Then we put the neck piece, just like that. And then the Bruce Wayne head will kind of sandwich it all together here. So also very nice. It doesn't sandwich as nice as the cowl, the actual Batman cowl. You see this part is pretty loose here. I'm sure with some finicking we can make it a little better. And then last but not least, we have the Batman Justice League base. I really like their bases. I think it's nice. They're all unison, so depending on the movie, you could say BVS Armored Batman or Justice League Batman. Then we have the stand here that says Beast Kingdom. Nice clear stand that can be articulated left and right. I'm not really sure why. Then this top part here can fully rotate and clamp on. But this is pretty, it's not that it's fragile, it's just, it could be stronger. Because these pieces can come off pretty easily. Like this part can pop off easily. These pieces can just pop off much easier than even the previous piece that I showed. And another thing that I think is a flaw here is that it's so short. So if I'm standing Batman, it's like right at his butt, so it can't really grab it and it just looks awkward. It should be up in this area around the abs. That's at least what I think. So to combat that, what I do with the Beast Kingdom figures at least is I'll kind of go a little Hot Toys style on it, where I'll have this kind of as like a crotch holder and kind of put this back. So you see that? And then I'll kind of like place him right there so it can hold it. Sort of something like that. Alright, and here's Batman and Superman from the same Justice League line. You can see the bases match pretty nice here. I both have that little crotch hack going on. Superman is a little taller than Batman, which is accurate. I believe Batman, at least comic book wise, is 6'2", and Superman is probably like 6'4" or something. But I know in real life Ben Affleck is definitely taller than Henry Cavill. But nevertheless, they do look good together. I tweaked the cowl a bit on Batman to make it look a little better. So if you flip the cape over the cowl piece, it sits better and looks a little more natural here. But I feel like there is something a little weird with Batman's proportions. His legs look fine. Obviously Superman's legs are bigger, but maybe it's the ab piece. Maybe this is too short or something. I feel like this top part got a little shrunken and his arms are pretty long. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like something is off with the anatomy a little bit. But once you have him in action poses or just not standing straight up, you can't even notice it. And here he is with the proper Batman cowl here standing next to Superman. The scale looks a little better when he does have the cowl on, because I guess his head is just a little more fuller and bigger, that's for sure. The Bruce Wayne head, it's awesome, but like I said, that little cowl piece for the Bruce Wayne head doesn't sit down as tight as this one. So overall, I'll definitely keep him displayed with this one, but it's just really nice to have that option with the Bruce Wayne head. Okay, so overall, this figure is just really cool. It's definitely not perfect, but I think it is a really great representation of the Ben Affleck Batman and his last performance, really, which is Justice League, which is not a perfect film, but I also enjoyed a lot, pretty much like this figure. And it's just really cool to have a Ben Affleck Batman at this scale, this size, that's not Hot Toy size, and you know, if you can't afford the $260 Hot Toys, you have this $60 version, which is nice. I think the cape is awesome, the detail is great, the articulation is great, the head sculpts are great, everything just looks cool, and he just looks really cool, right? So especially if you have Superman, Beast Kingdom, he goes very nicely with that, and Beast Kingdom's definitely a company that I'll support, that's for sure, because I have their BVS figures as well. The Armored Batman is also very nice. The original Superman's very nice. And yeah, keep an eye out for these. I know they're definitely doing Nightmare Batman next. I'm definitely picking that up. He's going to have real cloth trench coat and pants, and it's going to have to be a must-buy for sure. And I can't wait to review that for you guys. So until next time, you guys take care, stay safe out there, and I will see you later.